Hello, I am truly honoured to be here with so many amazing people. I've enjoyed every single one of you. I want to take you on a journey of turning fantasy into reality to serve the needs of our world. This is me, weighted to the bottom of the ocean, holding my breath for minutes at a time, dancing with sharks. My name is Hannah Fraser, and I'm a real-life mermaid. Now, before any of you look at me too funny, let's look at what the word actually means. The word maid means servant, and the word mer means of the sea. So you can just call me a servant of the sea if you prefer. I have a dream that we can create a world based on love, where all beings are valued and appreciated and live in harmony with one another. Some may say that this is a fantasy. Fantasy is usually thought of as kid stuff. When I was a kid, I said, I want to be a mermaid when I grow up. And adults would say, well, that's a lovely fantasy, but what do you want to do in reality? I want to share something with you. Everything you saw in that video was 100% real, no special effects. My life has been a constant journey of pushing the boundaries to see what is actually possible. In my younger years, I had a very vivid fantasy life, endlessly drawing mermaids. I was really shy and quiet as a kid, and this seemed to be the best way that I could share my passion. At age 9, I saw the film Splash. And I immediately knew that my dream was within reach, and I started creating my first mermaid tail. Made from plastic tablecloth material and pillow stuffing, it did more to drown me than to turn me into a mermaid. But I just kept trying. I thought if I could just stay down there long enough, maybe I'll grow gills. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and I did grow up. I was making a living as an artist, turning my passion for mermaids into drawings and paintings, and I was also doing some modelling, when this great opportunity came my way to attend a casting for an underwater shoot. Now, I'm not really model height, so when I got there and I was surrounded by these glamorous Amazons, I thought, no way am I getting this job. But you know what? None of them could hold their breath underwater. So all of my childhood practice came in handy, and I got the job. This rekindled my interest in swimming underwater in a tail. Now, these days, you can just go online and buy yourself a mermaid tail. But back then, there was no such thing. So I had to create everything from scratch. After countless hours of trying different things, I finally had my first legit prototype mermaid tail. 13 years later, I now have over 10 different tails, each one taking over 6 months of labour to create by hand. So I decided I was going to start working with underwater photographers. The media became interested, and lo and behold, people actually started to hire me as a mermaid. My dream, my fantasy, truly became my reality. I was swimming with a glimmering tail through shipwrecks, dancing with dolphins, exploring the blue underwater caves of Tonga. One of the most amazing experiences I ever had was swimming with a humpback whale and her baby. I was looking into the eye of this creature. It was the size of my head. The song that she sung was such a deep bass rumble that I felt it vibrate through every bone in my body. The effect was profound. I felt a presence that I can only describe as deeply intelligent and infinitely precious. Back on land, my joy began to turn to horror and dismay as I realized that these creatures, although supposedly protected, were still being hunted and killed. I was seeing reefs deteriorating before my eyes, beaches covered in rubbish. And most devastating of all, I was learning of numerous species being annihilated by pollution and overfishing. Under current estimates, around 70% of Earth's oxygen is created by the ocean. And around 70% of all life on this planet exists in the sea. In the last 50 years, we have eaten over 90% of the large fish. Many suggest that within 2 decades, we will have exhausted all of the life in the ocean. That would have incredibly dire consequences for our entire ecosystem. My bubble was bursting. I realized that being a mermaid was no longer just about fantasy and fairy tales for me. It was time to take action. I began protesting at international whale conventions around the world, creating visual petitions in an effort to end whaling. I was part of a group that paddled out into the Bay of Taiji in Japan, where we were attacked by fishermen who kill hundreds of dolphins every year. The footage we captured was televised worldwide, and it was featured in the Academy Award-winning film The Cove. Millions of people became aware of the issue, which was instrumental in getting mercury-laden dolphin meat taken off the government-funded school lunch program and off the supermarket shelves in Taiji. But still, the killing continues. Despite the film's success, most people I speak to haven't seen it. A common response is, "Oh, I don't want to see dolphins being killed, but I support what you do." It seems that many of us are unwilling to face reality when it's ugly. So how do we galvanize mass awareness and action when something threatens our very existence? I began working with one of the most talented underwater cinematographers and passionate eco-activists, Sean Heinrichs. Our mission became clear. Instead of showing the harsh realities of these issues, what if we could inspire more change and direct action through beautiful imagery that personally connected humans to these animals? We created the world's first whale shark fashion shoot, which highlighted one island community's ability to make more profit from non-invasive ecotourism and conservation than from shark finning. The photos and stories were picked up worldwide, and the response was more than either of us had ever imagined or experienced before. By bridging land and sea as a mermaid with a cause, we were able to appeal to people's fantasy and empower them with a new possible reality. Manta rays are some of the most beautiful, docile, harmless creatures who are being hunted relentlessly just for their gills, which are sold on the Asian food market. The Convention for International Trade on Endangered Species meets once every 3 years to decide which animals will be listed for protection. Many people told us that getting manta rays to be considered for this list would be impossible because of a perception that they are dangerous animals, like the stingray that killed Steve Irwin. So we created a short film called Manta's Last Dance. There I was, weighted down with 50 pounds, the bottom of the ocean at midnight, freezing cold, being pushed onto sharp rocks by strong currents, holding my breath for minutes at a time, with viper reels wrapping themselves around my legs occasionally. And then the manta rays showed up, and they began dancing just inches from my fingertips. The connection was undeniable. The film went viral worldwide, and it was shown to the convention delegates at CITES. Manta rays were put onto the protected list, garnering more votes than any other animal, land or sea. Yeah, it was a big win, thank you. There's a belief out there that sharks are just mindless killing machines. The reality is, around 10 humans or less are killed by sharks every year. whereas humans kill over 100 million sharks every year. That's about 12,000 every hour. Recently, the West Australian government implemented a shark culling policy to make the beaches safe for humans. So we asked, could we possibly get people to care about one of the world's most feared predators? So we shot a film with tiger sharks. After hours spent with these incredible creatures, what I witnessed was astounding to me. Out of all the animals that I've swum with in the ocean, these were the only ones that kept coming back time and again for physical interaction and even seemed to enjoy being tickled on the nose. Now, I'm not suggesting you all go out and try and pet tiger sharks. They are still wild apex predators, and I was with a team of trained professionals. But what it does indicate is that we may have been misled in our perception of these animals. Our film, Tigress, was seen by over 50 million people the first day that it was released on TV networks and online. Once people saw these animals interacting harmlessly with a human, interest soared and people felt connected to the issue. We gathered over 10,000 letters which were hand-delivered to the Environmental Protection Agency in Australia, and joining our voices to many eco-organisations around the world, we were able to end the shark cull policy. Yeah, it's more wins. I went from making a living to worldwide acclaim when I figured out a way to be of service, to benefit the world. Passion connected to purpose has been a winning formula. We are part of a new paradigm of creativity fueling global change through inspirational media. This is a 15-foot painting I created called Angel of Choice. She is asking you to choose your reality. We live in a time where radical creativity is needed more than ever. Fantasy and imagination are the source of innovation and solution. Every action creates a ripple effect. By constantly choosing love and connection in every moment, we can send out a ripple, an ever-growing ripple, that will change our reality. Which world would you rather live in? What possibilities exist when you bring your fantasy up from the depths to the shores of reality? I believe in you. Thank you.